Love to say that for over 210 years, this is our 210th anniversary, International Ministries has had a dream of seeing every tribe, every nation, and every generation being able to live the abundant life that's available to all of us through a saving relationship with Jesus Christ. And we believe that that dream springs from the very heart of God. You see it in God's word from the beginning of Genesis all the way to the end of Revelation. And I know you, FBC, Taft, you're right there with us in that dream as we partner together to bring the light and love of Jesus to the ends of the earth. So again, we're just so grateful for you. I do want to share a quick story with you. And no, not about the Democratic Republic of the Congo, but about the Dominican Republic. And I know it's confusing, but the Dominican Republic is the other half of the island of Haiti. And this story I'm going to share is just one of many, many stories I could tell you about ministries that I am as involved in. But in the Dominican Republic, there's over 500,000 Haitian refugees who live in encampments called bateys, that's what they call it there, along the Haiti-Dominican border. And they got there out of promises for jobs, hoping that they're going to have a better life for their kids. I'm sure you know about the horrific situation that Haiti's in these days, all the violence and the gangs. And so people are lured to the encampments trying to escape that. But sadly, they wind up serving as little better than slave labor in the sugarcane fields, or if not working in sugarcane fields, then they're doing other under-the-table and illicit jobs. And they have no legal identity in the Dominican Republic. There's no health care, no education available for their kids. The conditions in the batey is pretty unbelievable. There's no running water, no electricity, and the poverty is indescribable there. And I was reading an article about it yesterday, and the writer said that the situation in the batey is truly a dead-end situation. It's filled with complicated and systemic problems, which have been going on more than 100 years, because the batey system started during the slave era. So this is not a new situation. The writer also said, as often happens, girls and young women in this situation are the most vulnerable to exploitation. But I'm here to tell you today that there's hope for these young girls. There's a group of Christian women, both Haitian and Dominican, who have been working tirelessly alongside some of our international ministries, global servants, working to end the exploitation and prostituting of young girls in the Dominican Republic. And this group of women is called, they are part of Talita Kumi Ministries. And they have a full discipleship program. They're providing tutoring, job, and life skills training. And also, equally important, they serve as advocates to the Dominican government for these young girls and the things that they need. There are a few problems that they've been going after for several years. One of them is that these refugee kids have no legal right to education. And so their life basically begins and ends in the batey. But a few years ago, they won that battle of access to education for their children, which is a huge win, that the batey kids can go to school in the Dominican Republic. But another problem exists. Even if they go all the way through the education system and finish high school, if they don't have a birth certificate, which most of them don't, they can't sit for exams and they can't earn a diploma, which means it all ends there. They have an education, but they can't get jobs. They can't go on to further education. And so, of course, this same group of women have been advocating that young women and girls be able to sit for the exams and get their diploma. And just recently, legislation has passed that will allow them to get their diplomas, which is just an amazing thing. There's still yet another problem that they discovered. most of the schools that the children need to be going to are miles and miles from the bates. They are in the big cities. And so there's no system of transportation for getting these kids and young girls to their schools. And so kids are forced to go out to the main road and they have to hitch a ride. And it could be on the back of a motorcycle, it could be on a truck full of workers, it could be, any system imaginable. And of course, girls, once again, are the most vulnerable for exploitation and often are forced to pay for their transportation to school. So this amazing group of women that God has raised up, they don't give up. And when problems come up, they strategize and they find solutions. So again, they reached out to our global servants, our missionaries, who have partnered with a group of churches in the East Coast to help strategize and find a safe and sustainable way of getting these girls, especially girls, back and forth to the schools so that they can earn their education, they can earn their diploma, and be able to go on to have a better life. And it's just really exciting to see what God is doing through this ministry of Talita Kumi. So why am